Good morning, guys. Lily with Lily Ray's Collection. I'm back with a share. I created a Bohemian journal. It's my first Bohemian journal, and I used the wonderful fabrics that I received from Safia. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I also used this collection, the Floral Shoppe. It has beautiful floral pictures. The only thing that I didn't like is that the paper isn't that heavy. So I wish it were heavier, but I worked with it. So here's the journal. This is sari silk that, as you know, I received, my package from India. So all of these fabrics are genuine fabrics. And of course, I wanted to use that luscious piece, the only piece that she sent me, and I used it on the spine. And then, of course, you saw the paper collection. I have a little butterfly here and mixed in the flowers, and that says beauty. It has accented corners. And then I created this tassel for the center here. I also have beads on the side of that, of the journal, and you'll see that once we get in there. So how I open it is by squeezing it and just pulling it. You could stand it up and pull it down or bring it up. Either way. Or you could just untie it. I think that tying it and untying it, you see all the fibers? I didn't want to get rid of that. But if that bothers you, the recipient that is, then you can just cut that off and you can actually untie it. I just wanted you to see the piece that I created. Alright, and this has a claw that you can open and take off if you wish. I love that sari silk, beautiful. Okay, so it is one signature, but it is chunky, and the spine is 1.5. I added cardstock to the back. You have, this is actual fabric, purple fabric. So you have the fabric, poster board, 65 pound black cardstock, and then the actual cardstock from the floral stack. But as I said, it's very, very thin. So this is what I came up with, and of course the accented corners. There is your side view, and so let's get inside. I created this card on an index card. See that? And these corners are clear, so you can replace this with any other picture that you may want. And I thought I would search for the Bohemian magazines, and I found 4 of them. I added this, this is a hat, and it had some fruit on it, and then of course you see the rugs. And then I added the background and made that come, see-through. So I just love the way that picture came out. I hope you can appreciate that. There it is. Alright. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be adding these pictures to my Etsy store. We'll see. I haven't made that decision. So here is, and here is a swatch, because the Bohemian style has to do with fabrics and jewelry. So this was a fabric picture that I found on Pixabay, and then this here is the magazine, and during the 1900s, the 19th century, it was priced at 10 cents. And that was the beginning of the Bohemian era. So I'm going to unclip this. You can unclip it or leave it. You know what? I'm going to leave it. To see the fabrics, all you have to do is kind of twist it. So you have, this is more sari silk. This is muslin. And then this is sari silk. This is part of this one. And then of course you have some lace. And then I added a butterfly there. This is a paper butterfly. I put some gel medium on that. And here you have an applique of a kind of peacock feather form. And then here you have another applique, a yellow flower. And this is also sari silk, a piece of. I'm going to try and stay in frame here. This is part of the fabrics that I received. Isn't it gorgeous? This is a tag that I created. This is manila folder. And then what I did was, this is part of the paper collection. I glued that on. And then inked it with, what did I use? I used gathered twigs. So that's what I used. Okay. By Tim Holtz Distress Ink. And then this is muslin. I actually ripped the fabric. And then this is another one. I tried to do a shaker card. You see the butterfly in there? And then a butterfly out here. This is an applique flower, a pink feather, and then you have some, I'm hoping it doesn't come out, some sparkly, what do you call that? Glitter. Glass glitter. So that's that. I thought it would be fun to do something different. Alright. And then of course the pocket. A hound dog, which is synonymous with that era. And then a piece of the fabric that covers the actual cover. Some coffee dyed paper here. This is a Martha Stewart punch. I used gold thread to make this pocket. And then again, here's another card that I created. It's upside down. This is a crocheted with thin thread hat or bonnet, as they called it. And then this is like peacock feathers. And then this is another Bohemian book that I found. And so I collaged everything together and added the same background. And again, on an index card. You have a little red button from my jars of buttons. Lots and lots of buttons. And then here I added this because this is from my aunt's collection, and she was 87. She just passed not too long ago. And so I added the packaging, and then this strip of where the buttons were held. So you receive that button as well. I don't even know what that says. Oh, it doesn't say anything. Okay. So I made a pocket with the packaging. So there you have it. I did it because it's gold, and it went with the gold thread. Here is another piece of that fabric. I'm guessing that this is, sorry, I'm not sure of what, you know, all of the fabrics that she sent, but I used gold thread to sew it onto my coffee dyed paper, and then I made a tip-in and then added this muslin tab. And then as you can see here, this is a vintage lady. I couldn't leave my vintage style or flair out of there, out of the book, so I had to kind of add her. So there you have that. And then an applique. And then this is a small tip-in, and of course the pocket. I love this paper. I just wish it were a little thicker. I took my lace and I brought it to the machine, zigzagged on it as I fold it. And then I added this piece that was left over from the front pocket from this. So I added that piece down there. Here I have a doily punch. So I made the bigger punch with the paper collection, and then I added the small one. This is 4-inch. This is a 6-inch, which I cut in half. And then of course I dyed all of my papers, so you won't see any white papers in here, with the exception of the index cards. I also made this collage. She's reading a journal. I hope you could see that there. And then I inked the edges. Here's another one that I created. I think this one came out really nice. You could journal in the back. And then I have circles. It's a circle die. I took the circle die and added, this is a Prima flower, and it has little beads. And then I dyed this. This is tracing paper to match the flower and the beads. And then I just folded it and put it across here like that, which is a belly band. And then here I used a tiny attacher and lace trimming on top. The butterfly, this is a felt button, and then of course this is what do you call these? I have a bag full. Sequins. And then I added the muslin tab. And then this is from a collection that I've never used. I printed it out a long time ago, and I never used it, so I figured, it's lacy, it's subtle. I figured, let me use it. So I put a strip of the tape on top, and then I added this beautiful vintage button. You see that? With a safety pin on the bottom there, and that is just to stop the cover, and then you just turn it like that. You can journal on both ends, and then when you bring it down, it's to prevent the cover from flopping all over the place. So I thought that was a neat idea. And then I made this bow and added this applique, and these applique go back to my auntie days, so these are pretty vintagey. And here I added another muslin tab. I was going to dye them, but since I have so much color in the book, I figured let me leave them the actual color. I added this is a little die that I have of a heart, and I added some crochet thread. This is of course my Glimmer Mist colors. I added some tracing paper, and then I added an applique butterfly. I don't know if you could see that, but it's an applique butterfly. And then I punched out heart with a circle punch. And then I used a die for this pocket. I added this. I just love this print. And then I added this. I made this with my punch board. And I have to add something in there. But I wanted it for this pocket. And there she is again without the texture on her, reading her journal. And this is for journaling here. This is such beautiful paper. Just wish that it was thicker. Here you have more journaling space, and then I added just a piece of this collection that I showed you here in the beginning. Where is it? The yellow one. I forget whose collection this is. I'm going to link it below because I really can't remember. It's been some time since I've ordered that. And then here I added these lines. And then this is Artie Mae's. This was a scrap that I had actually. And then I, from the Artie Mae's collection, and then I just added this. And that's more areas to journal. I added the paper collection here on this envelope. This is an envelope that I dyed. And I added some music washi tape here. Look at these beautiful flowers. Some of the corners are rounded, some are punched, some are just square. And then this is the RIT dye that I used. I diluted it with some water and sprayed that. And then this has to do, this story here, or this verbiage here, has to do with the Bohemian time. And so I put it there for you to have something to read. And this is a watercolored picture. So you can read that, see, in the 19th century. And I added this. I actually made this bead. This is a wooden bead. And you have the little heart. And that's from the button scrap that I left up front. And so I added this, what do you call this? Garment pin. And I put that together. And then here we have more Artie Mae's. This was scrap that I had. I added the line in the back. This one I found, I added it because it has such beautiful colors. And it is Paris. This is the other half of the doily that I used. And then here's another lock. And so I added this here for journaling. And then let's see, in this bag, I also created this with the same textured lines. And then these are elephants that are synonymous with the Bohemian time. So I thought it was appropriate. And again, journaling in the back. And then you have a glycine bag there that I glued down. Here you have a shabby flower in the same tone on a garment pin. And then this is the photo that I have up front that I put a different background to. So this has yet another background. See that? So you have this Bohemian book, this one, and this one. And then the one up front. And this was something that I found on a free website. Free picture website. And then this is for journaling. This is a Bohemian lady. Excuse me. And I did the same effect with her picture. And then this is another I want to say pendant. It's not a pendant, it's a dangle. A pearl and a flower. And then you have 2 rondelles and 2 gold beads on a garment pin. And then of course your muslin. And that dangles down this way. Here I added a butterfly with a rose applique. And then isn't this a beautiful paper? I just love the flowers. And then you have 2 tags here. This is muslin and this is sari silk for journaling. And then this is the center of the book. I use crochet yarn and some lace trimming from my aunt's collection. I inherited her lace, her yarn, a lot of her items, her vintage items, so I'm using them throughout the books that I make. This has some glimmer mist that I sprayed on there, and so I took all of these colors, the black, the pink, the purple, and brought it onto this page. So we have the pink here, the black here, in this flower you have the purple butterflies, you see the glimmer mist there, and then this is another scrap from Artie Mae's collection, and then I added that lining in the back, and this is you have a double belly band there. And then I also created this removable paper clip. It says happily ever after. So I wanted to do a couple more of that, but this is more trim, and I added that I added a zigzag. I folded it in half and put it on there. And then this is the picture you saw up front, a little different, but I printed it right onto the paper. And then this is a scrap piece of paper. I did it because it just reminded me of a blouse. Isn't that beautiful? And then you could journal in the back. And then this is a leftover piece, so I just made it into a pocket. More journaling here. This is trim from the fabrics that I received from India. This is actually a tease for whomever purchases this book. They can go ahead and look up Margaret Fuller's memoirs rewritten. And she's from that time as well. And so here I added a another oh goodness, another trim, and it coordinates with the paper, the pink. Isn't that just beautiful? I love this paper. I can't say that enough. And then this is just an envelope that I dyed. I added some music paper, washi tape, and then here's another scrap piece for journaling. Another place for journaling. I was trying to leave a lot of areas for journaling, and for the recipient to embellish the book the way they want. This is a felt button with some red crochet thread and then some muslin, and this is a Martha Stewart punch. This is a pearl, oh, what do you call these? Pearl buttons? I forget what they call that. But it's pearl inside, and it is a button. More areas for you to journal on. This is another Bohemian young lady, and then this is a pocket that I created with a flower, and you just unwrap the button, I hope. Did it stick? Let me see if the glue. Oh, I hope it didn't stick. Alright, well, I'm going to have to check this out because I thought I let it dry. This is stationed with a brad. This is a very vintage button. Now I have to figure this out and make sure that it didn't stick. And if it's stuck, I have to kind of pull it in. Here we go. There it is. Oof. And then here I added another, this is for the copper buttons that I have. See, and during that time, as I said, she was 80 years old. It was $1.34 back then. For about, it says here, 14 mini disc copper buttons. And then here's another place for journaling. So all I did was wrap it around the button. That's it. And then here's the other side of the tracing paper, and I dyed that green, a very faint green. Here's another card that I created. 1858. Charles Frederick Worth, Paris. And then this pocket, I also did the, I used the die to cut that out. And then it has a flower, and it has one applique with 3 flowers. And this is all embroidered. Isn't that beautiful? This belonged to my aunt as well. So this is a very special book. This is from the fabrics that I received from India. And then I made a tag here with some leftover fabric from my India. You can journal on that from my India collection. A doily. I'm going to provide a circle so that whomever purchases this book, they have a template to put a picture there. So I will add that later. This is also from the fabrics that I just received. And again, these are all original fabrics from India. Here's this beautiful dye job that I did. This is coffee dye. And here's this beautiful tag. Look at this. I thought these colors were so appropriate. You have some lace trimming here, another tag, and then this is also from the collection from, I want to say Safia. She's the one that sent me the fabrics. I love that. And then this is coffee dye paper. And then again, this pocket on this side. Here's another piece that I created. You won't see these anywhere but in this book. So I'm not sure if I'm going to sell them on my Etsy or just have them in my book. I haven't decided yet. Here's another red vintage button with some crochet thread and some gold thread that I used to outline in the pocket. This is coffee dyed paper. And then here you have a little blurb about Bohemianism, textiles in the 1900s. So you can have fun reading that. And you have some references there. So let's see what else you have. Oh, I have this little dangle over here, and that's with the gold thread. I also made this dangle here with some crochet thread, some beads, and some wire. And then this is a organza bag, and these are just some pieces that I added as a gift. And I have a couple more things that I'm going to be adding, so that'll be a surprise. This is 2 yards, maybe 2.5 yards of seam binding, the black seam binding. Some tape, some washi tape. And this is coffee dyed paper, strips of coffee dyed paper that I had left over. So you could make a notebook out of this. And then an extra tag. This is what it looked like before I started dressing them up. And so, as I said, I'm going to be adding a couple more items to this bag back here as a thank you for purchasing the book. And know that this is a very special book because it has a lot of meaningful pieces that belong to my aunt. Well, guys, this is everything. I made it the spine wider because I wanted some room for adding everything that I've added, plus whatever the recipient is going to add. And this has, it was made with poster board, so it's very, very flexible. So you just squeeze the book and put this over this, like this. And that is my share for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I truly enjoyed making this. And so that's it, guys. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this share. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment below, because I will be having another giveaway, but you have to leave a comment below this video or any of my videos, because I'm going to select one of the videos, and then those comments are the ones, excuse me, those are the comments that are used in the random picker for the giveaway. So please leave your comments. And let me know if there's any projects that you'd like me to create and share. And for any beginners, let me know if you are looking for something specific that I can help you with. I could, do some videos for beginners as well. All right, guys. Thank you.